The icy wind cut across the jagged cliffs of Varkon 7, a distant mining planet far beyond human space. Snow swirled in sharp gusts, making even the tallest mining structures creak under the cold. In the midst of this frozen chaos, a faint, trembling voice echoed through the cavernous mining complex. "Please, don't hurt me. I can't even stand." The speaker was an alien named Gorlick, and he was in a pitiful state. His rotund frame was pinned under a massive slab of reinforced metal left over from a mining accident that had collapsed part of the structure. Every movement he made caused pain to shoot through his limbs, making him wince and plead again. "Somebody. Anyone. Please." Gorlick's species was usually strong and hardy, built for the harsh conditions of Varkon 7, but he had always been different. Overweight and slow, he struggled with the basic physical demands that others took for granted. His colleagues often mocked him, calling him names behind his back, and now, alone and trapped, he feared they would leave him to die. Around him, the other miners worked frantically to secure their area. The cold was biting, the wind howling like a living thing, and every shadow seemed to promise danger. But no one dared to approach Gorlick's slab. They were strong and swift, but the metal was heavy and the structure unstable. Every movement might bring the whole thing down. Gorlick's breathing grew ragged. He pressed his forehead against the icy floor, whispering, I can't do this alone." His voice was small and trembling, but the pain in it was real. Tears of frustration ran down his thick cheeks. In that moment, he truly understood what it meant to be helpless. A low hum suddenly filled the icy air. From the horizon, a small fleet of human rescue shuttles emerged, cutting through the snowstorm. Their lights shimmered against the icy cliffs, casting long, stark shadows. Among the fleet was Captain Alex Rylan, a human known for his courage and skill in extreme rescue missions. His team had been alerted by a distress beacon automatically triggered when Gorlick's sensors detected imminent collapse. The aliens around Gorlick stopped their work and watched. Humans were considered fragile and soft in this sector. Their bodies were not built for cold or extreme environments, and most of the aliens believed that no human could survive here for long. Yet here they were, approaching without hesitation, tools in hand, confidence in their stride. Alex scanned the scene quickly. The cold didn't slow his movements, nor did the unstable debris frighten him. His human instincts and advanced training allowed him to assess the dangers faster than anyone else. "Clear a path," he ordered calmly to his team, his voice cutting through the wind. Gorlick noticed the humans approaching and froze. He had never interacted with a human before. His first instinct was fear. He had heard stories of humans being unpredictable, dangerous, and strange. But something in Alex's demeanor felt different. There was no threat in the way he moved. Instead, there was certainty, control, and a strange calmness. The other alien miners whispered among themselves. "They're going to try it?" one asked, disbelief in their voice. "No human could move that slab safely." Alex didn't respond. He knelt beside the debris, examining the angles, the weight distribution, and the fragile points of support. He pulled out a compact device that looked like a combination of a crane and a cutting tool, his fingers moving with precision and confidence. Gorlick whimpered as the first sparks flew from the device, cutting into the frozen metal. Every spark reflected off the snow, making the cavern glow with a surreal light. Pain shot through Gorlick as the slab shifted slightly, but it was controlled, each movement measured to avoid crushing him further. Minutes stretched on. Gorlick's breath came in short, shallow gasps. "Please, I can't," he said weakly, unsure if anyone could hear him above the wind. Alex paused, looking directly at him. "I've got you," he said firmly, with a voice so calm it almost felt warm in the freezing air. "Just hang on a little longer." Gorlick blinked, astonished. Nobody had ever spoken to him like that before, not with such confidence and reassurance. The fear inside him wavered, replaced by a small spark of hope. Maybe he wouldn't die alone after all. The other aliens watched in awe as Alex worked. His team followed his precise instructions, each movement efficient and coordinated. Where the aliens would have struggled, faltered, or panicked, the humans moved with focus and calm determination. Finally, the slab shifted just enough for Gorlick to free one leg. He tried to push himself up, but pain and exhaustion held him down. Alex reached under the debris, his hands steady and strong despite the cold. With careful coordination, he lifted the slab just enough for Gorlick to crawl out. Gorlick collapsed onto the icy ground, gasping for breath, his body trembling from pain and relief. I thank you, he stammered, his voice thick with emotion. For the first time in his life, he felt gratitude, not just for being saved, but for being seen, acknowledged, and cared for. Alex smiled faintly, helping Gorlick to his feet. "You're stronger than you think," he said simply. "It's not about size. It's about what you do when it counts." The alien miners exchanged glances, their previous skepticism beginning to fade. They had always looked down on Gorlick, assuming weakness meant uselessness. But here, in front of them, was undeniable proof. Strength came in many forms. Courage, quick thinking, and resilience could outweigh brute force. Gorlick's confidence began to grow. With Alex supporting him, he managed to stand fully. It wasn't easy, and he stumbled a few times. But the effort was enough to show the humans and the other aliens that he could endure more than anyone had expected. The wind howled around them, but the small human rescue team stood firm. They had no fear of the storm, no doubt in their abilities, and no hesitation to help a being who many others had deemed unworthy. Gorlick looked at Alex with admiration, a faint smile forming for the first time in days. "You humans, you are not like the others," he said softly, still catching his breath. Alex just nodded. "We do what needs to be done. Always." The other aliens whispered to each other, astonished. They actually did it," one muttered. "No one here could have moved that slab without crushing him." Gorlick's initial fear slowly melted into trust. He realized that humans, despite their appearance, possessed qualities that were rare and powerful: courage, ingenuity, and a sense of duty that refused to bend even under impossible circumstances. As Alex and his team prepared to leave, Gorlick turned to them, his voice steadier now. "Wait, will you stay until I'm safe?" he asked, almost shyly. Alex smiled. "That's what we're here for," he said. He gave Gorlick a reassuring pat on the shoulder before stepping back, surveying the icy landscape around them. In the distance, faint shadows hinted at dangers that had yet to reveal themselves. But for now, in that frozen moment, the human presence had changed something fundamental. Gorlick was alive, and the aliens around him were beginning to see humans in a new light. Not fragile, not weak, but capable in ways that could turn fear into hope, weakness into strength. Gorlick took a shaky breath and stood taller, still leaning on Alex for support. The snow continued to fall, cold and unforgiving, but he no longer felt alone. The humans had arrived. They had proved that courage and ingenuity could defy expectation, and for the first time, Gorlick felt that maybe he could survive anything with them around. Above them, the wind carried the faint echoes of their struggle and triumph, a reminder that even in the harshest environments, hope could arrive on wings of steel and determination. And for Gorlick, that hope had a face, a human face, calm, steadfast, and unwavering in the storm. The icy wind on Varkon 7 continued to whip around the jagged cliffs, but the human rescue team moved with calm determination. Captain Alex Ryland scanned the area, eyes sharp and alert. The snowstorm made visibility difficult. Yet his mind worked quickly, calculating distances, weak points in the terrain, and potential hazards. Every second counted. Gorlick, still leaning heavily on Alex for support, looked around nervously. His body ached from being pinned under the heavy slab, but the adrenaline of survival kept him upright. I don't understand, he said, his voice trembling slightly. Humans, you are so strong and clever. Alex smiled faintly. It's not strength alone, he replied. It's knowing what to do and staying calm. That makes all the difference. Gorlick nodded, though he had never seen anyone handle danger like this. Among his species, brute force was the first solution. They relied on muscles, not thought. But the humans, they were different. Every movement, every decision seemed calculated to maximize safety and efficiency. As Alex and his team began to guide Gorlick to a safer location, the aliens around them murmured in disbelief. Many had expected humans to stumble, freeze, or fail under Varkon 7's harsh conditions. Yet here they were, steady and sure, moving with confidence through the icy landscape. "Keep moving," Alex instructed, pointing toward a stable outcrop a few meters away. "Don't rush. One step at a time." Gorlick took tentative steps, wobbling under the strain, but Alex's presence gave him courage. For the first time, he realized that survival wasn't about size or strength. It was about resourcefulness and determination. Suddenly, the ground shook beneath them. Dust and ice fell from the cliffs above, sending small rocks tumbling down. Gorlick froze, panic rising in his chest. "What? What now?" he whispered, fear making his voice crack. Alex quickly assessed the situation. "It's just loose ice," he said calmly. "Keep moving and stay close. We'll get to the safe zone in a few minutes." Despite the reassurance, Gorlick's legs trembled. Every step was painful, but Alex's calm voice and steady hand kept him going. The humans' team followed closely, securing the path with small stabilizers and ropes. Where Gorlick would have panicked, Alex's presence turned fear into cautious confidence. They reached the outcrop, a flat area shielded from the worst of the wind. Gorlick collapsed onto the icy surface, breathing heavily but relieved to have temporary safety. Alex knelt beside him, checking his injuries with care. "You're hurt, but nothing life-threatening," he said. "Just need to rest a moment before we move again." Gorlick managed a weak smile. I didn't think anyone would help me." His voice was small, almost embarrassed. "All the others, they just left me." Alex's expression softened. "That's why we're here. Everyone deserves a chance to survive." For a moment, Gorlick just watched Alex. The human seemed fearless, calm, and completely unafraid of the cold, the storm, or the treacherous terrain. Gorlick had always thought humans were fragile and ill-suited for survival on harsh worlds. But seeing Alex, he realized that humans were something else entirely, adaptable, clever, and brave in ways that were easy to underestimate. Before Gorlick could speak again, Alex's communicator beeped. "Captain, we have a situation," said a team member. "Sensors detect multiple unidentified ships approaching fast. Scans indicate hostile species, Ravok raiders, known for exploiting weak colonies." Gorlick's eyes widened. "Raiders," he whispered. We can't fight them." His body trembled, not just from exhaustion, but from fear. Alex stood and activated a small holographic display. The raiders were closing in, their ships moving fast across the icy plains. "We can't wait," he said. "We need to defend the colony and keep everyone safe. Gorlick, I'll need you to trust me." Gorlick's stomach twisted with fear. "Me? I'm not a fighter." "You don't have to fight like them," Alex said calmly. "Just follow my instructions. I need you to help in ways that only you can." The other alien miners looked skeptical. They whispered among themselves, unsure how someone like Gorlick, overweight and considered weak, could contribute to the defense. But Alex had a plan, and his confidence was enough to inspire hope where there had been none. The first raider ships entered the colony's airspace, firing energy pulses that shattered metal and ice alike. The aliens panicked, unsure how to respond, but Alex remained calm. "Positions!" he ordered. "Everyone follow my lead. Use what's around you, cover, terrain, and clever tactics. Stay alert." Gorlick stumbled to a small barricade, following Alex's instructions. He was terrified, but the human's presence steadied him. For the first time, Gorlick felt that he could do something, that his actions mattered. He grabbed a long, reinforced rod and positioned it to block attackers attempting to land on the colony. The raiders advanced, their ships lowering toward the icy ground. They expected an easy victory. They had heard rumors of weak miners and fragile humans, and they assumed that the defense would crumble. But Alex's strategy was different. He moved quickly, using terrain and improvised tools to create traps and distractions. Small ice fissures and strategically placed debris slowed the raiders, forcing them to navigate dangerous ground. His human ingenuity turned weakness into advantage, showing the aliens that raw strength was not the only way to survive. Gorlick, inspired by Alex's courage, began to act with surprising confidence. He pushed heavy debris to block a raider landing path, using his size in a way that the raiders did not expect. His movements were clumsy at first, but he quickly adjusted, learning from Alex's instructions. The raiders, initially confident, became frustrated. Their attacks were repelled by humans and aliens working together, a team that relied not on sheer force but on cleverness, timing, and coordination. One raider ship attempted to land near the colony's core, its weapons primed to destroy essential mining equipment. Alex ran forward, signaling Gorlick to help divert it. With a loud yell, Gorlick pushed a large metal panel into the path of the descending ship. The impact rocked the ice and sent the ship spinning away, forcing it to retreat. The alien miners around Gorlick stared in shock. The overweight alien, whom they had considered useless, had just played a key role in saving their colony. His fear and doubt were replaced with courage, all because of the guidance and trust of a human. Alex moved swiftly, coordinating the team and using his sharp mind to outmaneuver the raiders. He placed improvised traps, blocked landing zones, and gave precise instructions that maximized efficiency. Every human action highlighted the HFY principle. Intelligence, courage, and adaptability could outperform raw strength or fear. After intense minutes of combat, the raiders realized their attack was failing. Their ships withdrew, retreating into the snowy horizon. The colony remained intact, thanks to the combined efforts of humans and aliens, particularly the bravery of Gorlick, inspired by Alex. Gorlick sank to his knees, exhausted but exhilarated. His body ached, but he felt stronger than ever. I never thought I could do that," he said, still breathing heavily. I actually helped." Alex knelt beside him, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "You did more than help. You showed courage when it mattered. That's what counts." The other aliens began to see humans in a new light. They had always underestimated them, believing humans to be fragile and weak. But now they had witnessed proof. Humans were brave, clever, and capable of inspiring others to rise above fear. Gorlick looked at Alex with admiration, feeling a bond he had never expected. You humans, you are remarkable," he whispered. Alex smiled. "We do what needs to be done, and sometimes we bring out the best in others too." For the first time, Gorlick felt pride in himself. He realized that courage wasn't about size or strength. It was about doing the right thing, even when you were afraid. And humans had a way of showing you that you could do more than you ever imagined. As the wind howled across the icy cliffs, the colony's survivors gathered to repair damage and recover. Gorlick stood taller than before, his confidence renewed. He had faced fear, trusted in a human, and discovered strength within himself he never knew existed. And Alex Rylan? He quietly observed the scene, knowing that the human example had done more than just save lives. It had changed perceptions, inspired bravery, and reminded everyone that even in the harshest environments, courage and ingenuity could prevail. The icy plains of Varkon 7 were eerily quiet after the initial attack. Snow fell gently now, but the air was tense. The human rescue team, led by Captain Alex Rylan, moved with caution, repairing defensive positions and ensuring the miners, both alien and human, were safe. The victory over the raiders had been swift, but Alex knew it was only temporary. Gorlick, the overweight alien, stood near the edge of the settlement, catching his breath. He felt exhausted, yet there was a strange exhilaration coursing through him. His confidence had grown thanks to Alex's guidance. For the first time, he realized that courage wasn't about muscle or speed. It was about presence, focus, and determination. But that moment of calm was shattered by a deep, menacing hum. The ground vibrated underfoot, and shadows stretched across the snow as a larger fleet of Ravok raiders appeared on the horizon. Their ships were bigger, faster, and clearly more prepared than the first attack. Panic rippled through the alien miners, who scrambled to reinforce barricades. Gorlick froze, fear tightening his chest. He looked at Alex. They are stronger. We can't fight them, he stammered, his voice shaking. Alex's eyes narrowed, scanning the advancing ships. We can, he said firmly. We just need to think smarter. Strength alone won't win this. We'll use strategy, timing, and teamwork. Follow my lead. The raiders opened fire as they approached, sending streams of energy pulses that shattered ice and metal alike. The colony shook, and debris fell from the mining structures. Panic threatened to overtake Gorlick, but Alex's calm presence was a tether. Gorlick! Alex shouted, motioning to a defensive outpost. You and I are going to control this landing zone. Others, follow the perimeter defenses. Gorlick's stomach twisted, but he nodded. His fear was real, but it was now mixed with determination. With Alex's guidance, he ran toward the barricade, using his size as an advantage. Unlike the agile miners, he could block and slow down raiders trying to land on the icy ground. Alex moved beside him, placing improvised traps along the raiders' path. He instructed Gorlick to push debris, create obstacles, and use the terrain to their advantage. The overweight alien worked hesitantly at first, but as he saw the raiders struggle, a spark of pride ignited inside him. The first raider ship tried to land, expecting minimal resistance. But Gorlick pushed a massive panel into its path, forcing it to adjust. The ship skidded on the icy surface, narrowly avoiding a deep fissure Alex had predicted. The raiders cursed and fired indiscriminately, but the human-led team had already set up safe cover. "Keep moving!" Alex shouted. "Predict their actions and use them against them." For the first time, Gorlick felt he wasn't just a burden. He could make a difference. Every action he took, every panel he pushed, every barricade he reinforced, slowed the raiders' advance. His body ached, but he moved with growing confidence. The other alien miners watched in disbelief. The overweight alien, once mocked and overlooked, had become a key figure in their defense. Fear had transformed into courage under the human's guidance. As the battle intensified, Alex moved with precision, coordinating traps and guiding miners to optimal positions. His human ingenuity turned the colony's weak points into advantages. Small fissures in the ice became natural traps. Debris was repositioned to funnel raiders into disadvantageous zones, and Gorlick's size became a shield that saved multiple miners from harm. One raider ship broke through the perimeter, descending toward the mining core. Gorlick froze for a moment, fear gripping him, but Alex's voice cut through the panic. "Push it, Gorlick! You've got this!" Gorlick's muscles tensed, and with a deep breath he shoved the heavy panel into the ship's path. Sparks flew as metal collided, and the ship's landing gear twisted. The raider was forced to retreat, retreating in confusion and frustration. Gorlick stumbled backward, heart pounding, yet a smile broke through his exhausted expression. He had done it. He had saved lives. The other aliens now murmured in amazement. They had underestimated humans, and now they were beginning to understand that courage, intelligence, and quick thinking could surpass raw strength. Gorlick, once seen as weak, was now an inspiration. But the danger was not over. More raiders were approaching, their attacks growing more coordinated. Alex assessed the situation quickly, calculating angles and predicting enemy movements. "Gorlick, we're going to need a diversion," he said. "I'll take the lead with the traps, and you create obstacles to slow them down." Gorlick nodded, determination shining in his eyes. Fear still lurked, but it no longer controlled him. With Alex's guidance, he positioned panels, reinforced barricades, and even blocked a landing path with his own body when necessary. His size, once a source of shame, had become a powerful tool. The raiders attempted to outflank the human team, aiming to land on the sides of the colony. Alex anticipated their moves, directing Gorlick and the miners to block critical points. Using the environment, debris, and simple yet clever traps, they forced the raiders into narrow paths where they could be easily managed. One raider pilot miscalculated and skidded into a trap set by Alex, crashing into an icy fissure. Gorlick cheered quietly, his confidence growing. The once helpless alien now felt empowered, capable of facing threats he would have run from before. The battle raged for hours. Energy pulses lit up the snow, shadows danced across jagged cliffs, and the sound of metal scraping ice echoed across the plains. Gorlick moved tirelessly, inspired by Alex's calm determination. He realized that courage was not the absence of fear, but the ability to act despite it. As the raiders' numbers began to dwindle, the humans and miners found themselves gaining the upper hand. The aliens who had once mocked Gorlick now looked to him as a symbol of bravery and resourcefulness. Under Alex's guidance, the human-led team had turned a desperate defense into a strategic victory. Finally, the remaining raiders retreated, their ships vanishing into the snowy horizon. The colony was battered, but intact. Gorlick sank to the icy ground, exhausted but exhilarated. He had faced fear, followed guidance, and discovered strength within himself he never knew existed. Alex knelt beside him, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "You did well," he said. "You didn't just survive, you led in your own way. That's what courage is all about." Gorlick smiled weakly, pride swelling inside him. I never thought I could do that," he said. I actually helped save everyone." The other aliens now approached, offering nods of respect and gratitude. They had witnessed something extraordinary. An overweight alien, guided by a human, had played a vital role in defending the colony. Prejudice and doubt had been replaced with respect and admiration. Alex stood, surveying the aftermath. The storm still raged outside, but inside the colony a new sense of unity had formed. Humans and aliens, working together, had proven that courage, ingenuity, and teamwork could overcome any threat. Gorlick, once fearful and weak, now stood taller, his confidence renewed. He realized that true strength came not from size or power, but from courage, intelligence, and the willingness to act when it mattered most. As the snow fell softly around them, Alex turned to the group. "We'll rebuild," he said, "and we'll be ready if they come back. Together, we're stronger than any threat." Gorlick nodded, determination shining in his eyes. For the first time, he felt that he belonged, not because of his size or strength, but because of his courage, his willingness to act, and the trust placed in him by a human who believed in the best in everyone. In the icy wilderness of Varkon 7, a new understanding had been forged. Humans were not fragile. They were resourceful, brave, and capable of inspiring even the most doubtful to rise above fear. And Gorlick, once helpless and overlooked, had become a symbol of courage and hope, ready to face whatever challenges the future might bring. The storm had finally begun to ease, leaving the icy plains of Varkon 7 glittering under pale sunlight. Snowflakes drifted lazily, sparkling like tiny stars across the jagged cliffs. The mining colony, though battered, had survived the second attack by the Ravok raiders, thanks to a combination of human ingenuity and unlikely bravery. Gorlick stood near the edge of the settlement, looking over the snow-covered ground. He was exhausted, his body aching from the hours of relentless effort, but his chest felt strangely light. He had discovered something within himself, a courage he had never imagined existed, and it had come through the guidance of a human. Alex Rylan, calm and observant as ever, was busy coordinating repairs and organizing the miners. He moved with precise efficiency, guiding the aliens and humans alike in restoring barricades, repairing damaged equipment, and tending to the wounded. Every step Alex took reinforced the quiet message that humans were not fragile. They were capable, clever, and unafraid to take responsibility in the harshest situations. Gorlick approached him cautiously. "Captain, Alex," he said softly, his voice still trembling from exhaustion. I don't know how to thank you. I never thought I could do something like this." Alex looked down at him with a faint smile. "You don't need to thank me," he replied. "You did this yourself. I only guided you. Courage isn't given. It's discovered." Gorlick swallowed hard, trying to process the events of the past hours. He had been trapped, helpless, and ridiculed for being overweight. Yet here he was, standing tall, having played a pivotal role in saving his colony. His fear had been real, but so had his determination. And the respect he now felt from his fellow aliens was more valuable than any reward. The other aliens began to gather around, once skeptical and mocking, now watching Gorlick with awe. Whispers spread through the group. He actually helped lead the defense," one said. "And the humans, they guided him, calmly, perfectly. I never thought they could do this." Another miner added, "Gorlick moved mountains today, literally, and with the humans' help, we survived." Gorlick's cheeks flushed with pride. He had always believed himself weak, but Alex's belief in him had unlocked a strength he had never imagined. In that moment, Gorlick realized that respect wasn't about appearances, it was about actions, courage, and the willingness to rise when it mattered most. Alex approached the group, his calm presence commanding attention. "Listen," he said, his voice carrying clearly in the crisp air. "Today we faced a threat that seemed impossible, and yet we survived, not because any one of us was stronger than the enemy, but because we worked together. Every effort mattered. Every person contributed. Even those who doubted themselves played a crucial role." The aliens exchanged glances, nodding slowly. They had underestimated the humans, assuming fragility meant weakness. But the humans had demonstrated a combination of intelligence, courage, and leadership that had turned fear into victory. Gorlick stepped forward, still breathing heavily. I want to say something," he began, his voice gaining strength with each word. "I was scared. I thought I couldn't do anything. I even thought I'd die alone." He paused, looking at Alex. "But you showed me that even someone like me can make a difference. You trusted me, and because of that, I found courage. I want to thank you." Alex smiled warmly. "You don't have to thank me," he said again. "You acted when it mattered." That's all the thanks anyone could need. The alien miners, inspired by Gorlick's words and Alex's calm example, began to approach him, nodding and offering respect. "You saved many lives today," one said. "Even I doubted you at first, but you proved us all wrong." Another added, "And the humans, they are remarkable, calm, clever, and brave. They teach more than they fight." Gorlick felt a surge of pride. He realized that his life had changed. He had earned respect, not through strength or speed, but through courage, determination, and the guidance of a human who believed in the potential of others. Alex turned his attention back to the settlement. "The colony survived, but we must remain vigilant," he said. "The raiders may return, but today has shown us that we are stronger together, humans and aliens alike. We can face any challenge if we work as one." Gorlick nodded, understanding the deeper meaning. Courage was contagious. When a leader trusted you, when someone believed in your potential, it gave you the power to rise beyond your limitations. He had felt helpless before, but now he was ready to face anything. The day passed with repairs and rebuilding. The humans and aliens worked side by side, repairing structures, clearing debris, and tending to the wounded. Gorlick assisted wherever he could, his confidence growing with every task. His size, once mocked, became an asset. He lifted heavy beams, reinforced barricades, and even helped train others in simple defensive strategies. As evening approached, the sky painted itself with hues of pink and purple. Gorlick stood beside Alex, looking out over the colony. The wind had softened, and the snow sparkled in the fading light. For the first time, he felt hope, not just for survival, but for the future. "Alex," Gorlick said quietly, Do you think the raiders will come back?" Alex considered the question, scanning the horizon. "Possibly," he replied. "But it doesn't matter. Today we learned that courage, intelligence, and teamwork can overcome even the greatest threats. If they return, we'll be ready." Gorlick nodded, understanding fully. The lesson went deeper than defense or survival. It was about trust, belief, and finding strength where none seemed to exist. The humans had shown him that courage wasn't measured by size or speed. It was measured by heart, action, and the will to act when it mattered most. As night fell, the colony settled into an uneasy calm. Fires were lit, warmth spreading through the shelters, and the aliens began to share stories of bravery and survival. Gorlick found himself at the center of attention, not as a figure of ridicule, but as a symbol of courage and perseverance. Alex watched quietly, observing the change he had helped bring about. Humans were often underestimated, yet here their presence had transformed fear into confidence, weakness into strength. And Gorlick, once a timid and fearful alien, had discovered his own courage through trust, guidance, and determination. Later, Gorlick approached Alex one last time before night fully fell. I don't know how to say this," he said, voice soft but sincere. "But you've changed my life. I feel like I can face anything now." Alex placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "That's the way it should be," he said. Courage isn't about never being afraid. It's about acting when it matters, even when you are afraid. You've learned that today, and I'm proud of you." Gorlick's eyes glistened with gratitude. For the first time in his life, he felt truly seen, respected, and valued. His fear had been replaced with determination, and his doubt with confidence. The humans had shown him that even someone underestimated could rise above, inspire others, and make a real difference. As the stars began to twinkle above the icy plains, Gorlick stood taller than ever before. The humans had left a mark on his life that went beyond survival. They had shown him the power of courage, the strength in trust, and the possibility of hope in the darkest of circumstances. The story of Varkon 7 would be remembered not for the snow, the storm, or the raiders, but for the unlikely hero who rose above fear and the human who guided him. Together, they had proven that courage, ingenuity, and determination could overcome even the greatest odds. And for Gorlick, the once overweight, timid alien, the lesson was clear. No matter how small or weak one might feel, bravery could always be found within, especially with someone who believed in you standing by your side. The colony survived. Respect was earned, and the bond between humans and aliens, forged in snow, fear, and courage, promised a future where cooperation and trust could overcome even the most impossible challenges.